All right, so have you heard about this whole Janet Jackson thing?
I think so vaguely. What happened?
Well, she did this interview, right? And she says Kamala Harris isn't black.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. She says she's just Indian.
Huh. I mean, I guess people make mistakes, but you'd think.
Right, and that's the thing. The interviewer, to their credit, they actually correct her. Like, hey, Harris's dad is Jamaican. She identifies as both black and Indian. But then,
Let me guess. Janet doubled down.
ding, 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 you got it.
And the internet, well, let's just say people were not happy. Which, fair.
Yeah, I bet. It's not just about getting a fact wrong. It's that those kinds of statements, even if she didn't mean it that way, it plays into some really harmful stereotypes. That's exactly what we're diving into today, this idea of misinformation, especially when it comes to someone's identity. It's a big deal, and it has real consequences.
Absolutely. And it's everywhere. I mean, look, we all make mistakes, but when it comes to things like identity and politics, oof. That stuff spreads like wildfire online, and it's used to discredit people, to sow division. It's a mess.
But get this, because it gets weirder. This guy, Mo El Masri, pops up, claiming to be Janet Jackson's manager, issues a whole apology to Buzzfeed. Turns out,
Wait, hold on. Is this the part where it's not actually her manager?
you've been following along too closely. Yep. Jackson's team puts out a statement. This guy's got nothing to do with her. Her brother's her manager. End of story.
Okay, so what was his angle? Trying to get 15 minutes of fame.
Right. But then, and I swear this is all true, you can look it up. El Masri tells Variety he was fired over this whole thing.
See, that's what gets me about this whole thing, right? It all starts with what seems like a simple mistake, but then it just spirals into this perfect example of how misinformation works online, how fast it spreads, how hard it can be to figure out what's actually true.
And we have to acknowledge the elephant in the room. This isn't just some random occurrence. Women, people of color, especially in politics, they've always been targets for these kinds of misinformation campaigns. It's a way to undermine them, make them seem less credible.
Exactly. It's a tactic as old as time, but social media has just amplified it to a whole other level.
So where do we fit into all of this? Because it's easy to sit back and judge when someone else shares misinformation, but how do we make sure we're not part of the problem?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? We have to be more critical about the information we're consuming. We can't just take everything at face value, even if it's from someone we like or agree with.
So like that interviewer did with Janet Jackson, maybe we need to get comfortable with respectfully challenging things that sound off, even if it feels a little awkward.
100%. And it's not about being a know-it-all. It's about promoting healthy skepticism. Check your sources. Think about who benefits from a certain narrative. Consider your own biases. These are skills we all need to develop in the digital age.
It's like, how do we become more discerning about what we're consuming and what we share? Because at the end of the day, we're all responsible for the information ecosystem we create. Something to think about, right?
Definitely gives you a lot to chew on.
That's the goal. All right, thanks for diving in with me on this. Until next time, folks.